Welcome back to Intro to Programming. Today we're going to be talking all about strings and things that you can do with them. So if you remember last video, we went over variables, and we're going to use a variable right away here. This first part doesn't have to do with strings necessarily, but it's a way to get input from the user, and you can use all of these methods on input that you get from the user. So, which is good because sometimes you might not know exactly what the user input is going to be. So you can do it that way with the various methods you have here. So this first one, let's go ahead and uncomment that. So all this is doing, remember, we're setting a variable here, which is just called color. And the variable is input, and what is your favorite color? So inside of input, you have to put whatever text you want to be able to collect. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to actually say this other variable, say hi hello world. It's not doing anything, so it's fine to just sit there right now. So let's go ahead and print this. Let's see here. There we go. It went ahead and prompted us for the color. So we would put our color here in the console. So we'll just put orange, and it just returns orange. That's all that it's programmed to do right now, is to return what it is. But we could do something interesting with the color. Let's go ahead and get rid of that, and then let's take a look at this. So we have another print statement, and then inside the parentheses we've got some text that just says really this whatever color we put in is my favorite color too. So let's just break that apart real quick, and it looks like I have an extra comment tag over there. There we go. Okay, so when creating text that we can read back, we're gonna type in really, and then plus whatever color was, so orange, and I put capitalize on here because we want it to be capitalized. It's the first word of a sentence, so yeah, we want that to be capitalized. So you could say, yeah, orange is my favorite color too. So let's go ahead and run this real quick, so it'll be easier to see once we've run it. So what is your favorite color? Let's type in blue this time. All right, there it goes. Really, blue is my favorite color too. Okay, so that's how to get input from a user. And really, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a lot that you can do with that. We're not going to get into that right now, but let's go ahead and put these back. All right, so line breaks. This and this, both print hello world and hello world, they will do what you would expect. They print 2 copies of hello world. But if you wanted to, you could put that all in a single print statement. So let's get rid of those. Those are equal to hello world, and then you have this special couple of characters here. When you add a forward slash and then n, that tells it to do a new line. So it'll say, yeah, hello world, it'll hit that, run a new line, and then hello world again. So let's do that again. There we go. And that's easy. That's how that works. So I just wanted you to be aware of, when using print statements, that you can use line breaks like that. So to get the length of a string, we have a new variable here. Its name is say hi, and we're calling it hello world. Or we're saying hello world is the text that's on the inside, rather. So to get the length of it, we could say get the length of, or just say len of say hi. And what that will do is that should put, oh, we're not printing anything. So it's doing work, it's just not printing anything. So let's go ahead and get rid of that and run it again. There we go. The length is 11. So let's just take a look here. We can go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that will go ahead and give us the length. So we could, let's see here, go ahead and comment those out. So strings as arrays. If you've heard of programming before, or if you're familiar with, I believe we do arrays and matrices in math as well. You can think of a string as an array. So if you think of it as a 11, in this case it's 11 by 1 array, or 1 by 11, depending on how you look at it. But it has, actually, I want to keep this on. Okay, so what this bracket and the 0 here at the end of say hi do is they will return the letter that is in that position of the array. So it's in the 0 position, and you may already know, but computers, they start counting at 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you want the 5th item in a list, you need to print, well, we'll get to that in a second, but you'll need to print the 4th, it'll be the 4th item in the list because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go ahead and run this real quick, and we get the H from hello world. If we change this to, let's see, 4, and run it, we get O, because that's the 5th word in, or 5th letter in. And so, okay. We can also go from, that's counting from the left, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can also count from the right of the string. So where world ends, you can start from D and then go backwards from there by printing -1. So let's go ahead and print these both. And you can see -1 prints D. So the D in hello world. And instead of getting just single letters, we can also get particular ranges, which are helpful. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to comment these out. And let's take a look at this. Now, this is a little bit of an odd behavior, or maybe it's not designed this way on purpose. I'm sure it is, and I just don't know the reason for it. But when you're doing a range, the last number has to be one more than the letter that you're trying to include. So, yeah, I have it written here. When printing a range, the last number is not included, so you'll need to add 1 to the end of the range. So in this case, we're doing hello. Yeah, we're doing hello. And to get the whole word, if we think about it this way, and let me put my cursor there. This is at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But we want to include that O, so we have to go to 5. So if you can think of it as a little cursor that's moving along. And so let's go ahead and print this. There we go. Hello. In cases when you're starting from the beginning of the string, you can leave the first number blank. So let's take this example again. We can leave the 0 off. All right, so that will go ahead and print the same thing that we had before. Go ahead and run that. We get 2 hellos because we have this one over here. Let's go ahead and comment you out. And might as well go ahead and comment out this one as well. Oops. And so let's say we want to get the word world. Well, the same thing applies if you're going from one index to the end of a word. You can just leave the end of the word off, and it'll just automatically go to that end of that word. So let's go ahead and print this, and you'll see it just prints world. And you can also, if you feel so inclined, you could start, your first number could be -5. So if we go back up to my world real quick here, so this would start as -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 to the end. That will also print world. Okay, let's say we want to find a string within a string. So in this case, let's say we want to find where the word world is. Let's say we used a user input and we want to see if they have included the word world in their input text. So what we could do, we could say print say hi, find world. It's pretty easy. So print.say hi, and then find is the method that we're using, and world is what we're using to find. And so what we'll do is it'll print the location of where world starts in the text here. So we can also do that for single letters, really any kind of string that we want to look for. So let's say we want to look for O. But if you remember, and actually, you know what, I'm going to move this down. And I'm going to comment you out so you don't give us an error. Okay, so let's say we want to find that second O. How would we do that? Well, there's a couple ways we could look for it. I think the easiest way would be to set up a variable, and inside of that variable we're going to put say hi dot find 0. So we know that will return the location of the first 0. We can take that info, we can print this out, say hello, say hi find 0, and then if we add, and this number could be anything. We could make it like 6, for example. But let's see here. So we know that it's going to be at position 5. So let's say 6. And let's run that real quick. Okay, so it says 4 and at 7. So, but let's say we don't know where the world, or where the second 0 might fall in the line. So what we can do is we can use our first, we can use our first 0, and then when you look for something and then put in another value after the term you're looking for, it will look following that point. So all this does is it says find 0, and then the starting at the first point plus 1. So it'll go all the way to this 0, and then you'll add 1, and then it'll print the world, the second O in world. Okay, so this will find the second 0. Now this only works for this 0, so we could make this more robust and create a function, which we haven't gotten to functions yet, but we could create a function that will always that'll find all the zeros in a string of text. So that might be an exercise we work on in the future, but we're not quite at functions yet. So let's say we want to replace a string. And let's see here. Okay, so let's say we have our text, and let's say we want to replace world with universe. It's really easy. You can just use the replace method. So it'll say hi, replace world, universe. So let's run that, and it'll say hello universe. Now the thing is that with Python, strings are immutable. So once you've set a string as a variable, or even if you have a string in some other function, that string will always be that. Whenever you use something like the replace command, it's creating another instance of that string, but it's not altering the original string that you had created in a variable before. Let's look at splitting strings. Sometimes you might need to split a string into multiple different strings, and all split does is it splits at a particular character. In this case, we're using the space between hello and world as the characters. It will print everything, all the words or any words that we have. So let's say we could do something like hello world, hello universe. Okay. Now if we split that and print it, it will give us a list with each of the words separated out. So yeah, that just creates a list of all the words. Okay, so for the exercise for this video, we're going to, this is a bit of an odd string to look for, but I want you to print LLO war. So from the L's from hello world and the WOR, I want you to print those characters from the variable say hi. So you'll be able to find how to do that in this section right here. So yeah, take a look at that and see if you can get that to display as it should. I'll catch you guys later in the next video. Bye now.